Hey, over here. FBI.
I've grown up on Resident Evil games, and you can imagine my excitement when it was officially confirmed that Leon S. Kennedy has been brought back for Resident Evil Requiem. This just puts to rest all the speculation after a fresh trailer was launched at the Game Awards 2025. I was thrilled to see Leon now transformed into a full badass veteran zombie fighter, and it is now clear that just like the rumor mills had suggested, Leon will feature as one of the 2 playable characters. This is big news, and for die-hard fans of the franchise, this is a moment to celebrate as such a classic character makes a comeback. So in this video, I will explore all about that and also do a deep dive into Victor Gideon, Grace's chosen one mystery.
Me? Never.
A secretive return makes it more special. I don't know about you, but I love pleasant surprises, and this was a great one for me. When Resident Evil Requiem was first revealed, the focus was entirely on Grace Ashcroft, the new protagonist, and all everyone could talk about was how this meant a fresh direction for the traditional survival horror genre. However, there were some strong rumors about the involvement of Leon in the mix of things, and this was put together by the fans and some insiders who reportedly leaked some crucial details. But even with such a ruckus around the possibility, Capcom dodged the question every time they were asked about this. Some versions of their response even included a blatant denial suggesting how Leon could be a misfit for the new era of Resident Evil. It is only after the new trailer that the studio has stopped playing coy. And the best part about Leon's return is that he gets to have his own action-driven campaign in the game where he is brought back to the Outbreak's ground zero, nearly 3 decades after his first night there. The secrecy for Leon was actually more than just a surprise marketing trick. It was explained during the Game Awards presentation that Grace's section will lean into slow-burning survival horror, while Leon's story will have more intensity and action in typical Resident Evil style. I cannot disagree with this approach because, as the developers had said earlier, Leon would indeed be difficult to use in pure horror because he is too experienced at this point for him to be believably scared. By hiding Leon until the final reveal, Capcom made sure that they landed a structural twist and also the emotional impact of seeing Leon again after 28 years. Why is Leon such a special character for the fans? If you've been a hardened Resident Evil fan like I am, you can just fast forward this segment because you know it all too well. But for the ones not too familiar, we'll need this context. We aren't crazy about Leon's return for no good reason. Leon Scott Kennedy made his debut in Resident Evil 2, which was canonically set in 1998. The storyline was intriguing and perfectly done, where his first day on the job as a rookie cop changed completely when the city was overrun by zombies following the outbreak of the T-virus. In Resident Evil 2, Leon teamed up with Claire Redfield as she searched for her brother Chris, and together they uncovered the crimes of the Umbrella Corporation, William Bergen's G-virus, the underground lab beneath the city, and the political cover-up. This was yet another gripping story as multiple characters with multiple motivations got together for a plot that included everything from complicated connections to deception and betrayal. Leon was able to leave Raccoon City before the US government nuked it to contain the outbreak. That fateful night became the foundation of everything that Leon became later on. In the continued story arc, Leon was recruited by the US government, and he agreed to work with them in exchange for Sherry Birkin's protection. He received training and turned into a government agent who was important enough to report directly to the US president. By the timeline of Resident Evil 4 set in 2004, Leon had transformed into a skilled operative, and he was deployed to rural Europe to rescue Ashley Graham, the daughter of the US president who was kidnapped by a cult. He fought the villagers controlled by the Las Plagas parasite, and I can never get over the memorable bosses like El Gigante and the Verdugo. This was probably the peak of Leon's badass moments, as the character was handed everything from stylish gunplay, good one-liners, and crazy survival odds. There have been some of his later appearances that pushed him further into the moral gray zones, and in the Resident Evil 6 timeline set in 2013, He was present when President Adam Benford was infected and turned into a zombie, just as he was about to reveal the truth about Raccoon City to the public. Leon was forced to kill the president and he was framed in the aftermath. The fact that Resident Evil Requiem sends Leon back to Raccoon City is nothing short of a spectacle, because this is the place where his story began. You can see that almost 28 years have passed since the 1998 incident, and Leon is obviously significantly older now and wiser with experience. But if the Leon-focused trailer is any indication, he still has his touch, and the precise shots and melee finishers are still there to woo us fans. And did I mention that you can actually chainsaw your enemies now? Holy moly. As I've mentioned before in this video, Leon's campaign is explicitly more action-driven, and it's contrasted with the slower, intenser segments of Grace. This is a smart choice from the developers because it exploits his legacy, as the players know that he is already an experienced zombie killer. Besides, I love the idea of bringing him back to Raccoon City because this time around, he is no longer a rookie, but a hardened veteran who understands exactly what is going on here. Who is Victor Gideon, and what is all this talk about this character? Alright folks, enough talk about Leon and his much-awaited return, because Resident Evil Requiem is a lot more than just one character. The trailer also introduces Victor Gideon and the Chosen One mystery, which has created a lot of speculation among the fans. Victor is a new stalker-type antagonist who seems like a doctor with a disturbed demeanor, and he relentlessly hunts Grace Ashcroft. He calls her special and refers to her as the Chosen One, which suggests that he sees her as the key to his work and his ideology. The popular fan theory suggests that Victor Gideon might be a former Umbrella affiliate, and that he might also be someone aligned with the post-Umbrella bioweapon programs. Now he is probably obsessed with a project tied to the legacy of Raccoon City. And from the looks of it, he is physically altered, possibly infected or self-experimented, and intellectually fixated on Grace's blood, and her connection to a project called Elpis. Also, the cutscene snippets indicate that he doesn't want to kill her from the way he approaches her almost religiously. He probably wants to use her for something, and he believes that something can be unlocked inside of her. Or maybe she might just prove one of his theories about her uniqueness. However, if you want to dive to the bottom of the whole Chosen One mystery surrounding Grace, you'll have to consider her mother, Elisa Ashcroft, from the Resident Evil Outbreak titles. She is an investigative journalist who survived Raccoon City, and she's known for digging into the secrets of Umbrella years before the collapse of the company. In the lore of Resident Evil Outbreak, she witnesses a hospital-related virus incident, and later she continues to chase leads on pharmaceutical conspiracies. I've stumbled upon some fan theories that connect Elisa to Requiem by pointing out that Grace is her daughter, and Grace's investigation at the Wrenwood Hotel mirrors Elisa's final case before her death. Elisa reportedly died while pursuing a story involving strange deaths and a possible bioweapon activity at that very hotel. Now, Grace, who is working as an FBI analyst, is pulled to the same location and the same web of secrets, and maybe it's not just a coincidence. Will she be the inheritor of her mother's unfinished war against the hidden bioweapon programs? Only time will tell, but there is something more to it than Victor Gideon's fixation on her as someone special. Can Victor Gideon's obsession be tied to the Elpis project? Why does she call Grace as the Chosen One? For those who don't know, the name Elpis, which has appeared in leaks and analysis videos surrounding Resident Evil Requiem, is the Greek word for hope. This is strangely associated with the myth of Pandora's box, and in this myth, all of the world's evils are released, but hope still remains. The symbolism, as you can see, is obvious. Raccoon City is the Pandora's box in the context of Resident Evil, and reports from the show floor demos and theory content indicate that Elpis is a secret project tied to research continued after the Raccoon City incident, probably under government oversight. The idea here is that when Umbrella shut down publicly, the work still continued covertly through other programs, with Raccoon City's ruins and surviving viral samples used as test beds. It could either be a next-generation bioweapon designed to be controllable and deniable, or a potential countermeasure, a cure for the outbreak. I have a strong hunch that Victor Gideon's obsession with Grace is linked to this Elpis project, and maybe there is a significant importance of her biological structure for the purpose of the project. As for Grace, her uniqueness might come from her blood and how it interacts with viral agents. One fan theory that really struck me ties back to Daylight, the experimental antiviral compound developed in the Outbreak games as a cure for the T-virus. If Elisa was exposed to Daylight or related research during or after the outbreak, it is possible, with the series' logic, she could have developed antibodies that she passed down to her daughter Grace. If that is indeed the case, then Grace is a living countermeasure, and you can only imagine her importance as an anti-bioweapon. The trailer and descriptions show Victor Gideon performing medical procedures on Grace, and there are scenes where she appears restrained and sedated as he draws blood and monitors her. This is clear evidence of the fact that he wants to use her physiology and not just her presence. Also, there is a chance that Gideon is trying to weaponize Grace somehow, and this will make things even more interesting. Whatever be the case, it is safe to say that Grace will be a center of a struggle in this new narrative, and I cannot wait to find out what it's all about. How does Leon feature in this plot? I had thought Leon might be introduced just as fan service, but now I believe there is a whole lot more to his presence. As a veteran agent who spent all his life following orders from governments and agencies, sending him back to Raccoon City to assist Grace and fight Gideon, as the coverage phrases it, might have deeper implications. I wonder if the narrative will show him hiding the truth for stability or fighting back against the institutions that try to control him. The gameplay trailer shows him fighting enemies and human-aligned threats, and this hints that his campaign involves fighting more than just the infected creatures. Marvelous verdict! A worthy callback to a legendary character. It is evident from all the fan reactions that the decision to bring back Leon was nothing short of a masterstroke. Also, add this to the whole Chosen One mystery, and you have a solid plot on your hands, which makes the game all the more appealing. Will this become the nexus point where the 30 years of Resident Evil storytelling finally collide? Well, I'm tired of speculating all the numerous theories, and I just wish I had a time machine to go right to the release date when I can get my hands on this timeless classic in a new avatar. Well, folks, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think of the presence of badass Leon S. Kennedy? And also, share your thoughts on what the Chosen One theory might be.